Hi, I'm Mark from easylawnmowing.co.uk, and in this video we're going to take a look at this Hyundai HYM20200SPE petrol lawnmower. We're going to go through the assembly, I'm going to go through the specification, and then we're going to test this mower out to see how well it performs. By the end of this review, you'll know whether this is the right petrol lawnmower for you and your lawn. Okay, so before we can take a closer look at this Hyundai petrol mower, we need to get it unboxed. So let's do that now. Let's see what comes supplied in the package. We'll do the assembly, I'll go over the specification, and then we'll go out and give the mower a test. All right, so let's get it unboxed and let's take a closer look. Okay, so that's our Hyundai unbox. So what do you actually get supplied in the kit? So naturally you're going to get the mower itself. And as I said earlier, this is the HYM20200SPE. And I'll be explaining a little bit more about the specifications of the mower in the specifications section of this video. So the mower itself is an electric start model. So that's where you have the starter here. And there'll be a couple of additional accessories that you get with this because it is the electric start model. You also get the grass catcher here. So this is a good size. This is 60 litres and that complements this mower really well. So this is a 20-inch cutting width, 20-inch deck, or 51 centimetres, and that compared with this 60-litre grass box is a really good combination. So no assembly to do on the grass box itself. This is my preferred grass box. So it has a hard top. So particularly with some petrol mowers that have all mesh bags, they, especially on a dry day like today, if you're mowing and the grass is really dry and dusty, all that dust and debris is coming up into your face. You don't get that so much with a hard top. It deflects the dust out of the side. So having the mesh gives it good circulation, going to pick up well. Again, we'll be testing this out later, and that really does give you a good combination of both collection power or suction power from the mower, but also rigidity in terms of the catcher box itself. You also get the flap on here as well, grass fall flap, so when that's down you know you need to empty. Again, really nice, and you have a nice handle on the back there, so when you're emptying it just makes the whole thing a lot easier. So Hyundai have thought of everything. So this really feels like a good grass catcher, but as I say, we'll be testing how well it picks up later. You get your user guide here with your safety instructions and also your assembly instructions, but I am going to be assembling this for you in a moment. Spark plug spanner. You've got some levers here for your bars because these will fold down, quick release levers. You've got a clip there, cable tidy clip, just to strap your cables to the bars. And as I mentioned earlier, because this is the electric start model, it's a black edition, it looks fantastic as well, but because it is that electric start, so that's that SPE, the SP is the self-propelled, the E is for electric start. So you're going to get your charger and you're going to get your battery as well for your starter. So you can see there that it has a gauge. You can press the button there and you have the lights that tell you how much charge is in the battery. But again, I'll be showing you that a little bit later. What's great about this mower, it has side discharge as well. So side discharge chute included in the pack. You also have the mulching plug included as well, which is fantastic. So this is a 4-in-1. So it will cut and collect into the grass catcher, it will mulch using the mulching plug, it will side discharge using the chute, but it will also rear discharge as well. So it pretty much covers everything you could possibly want in terms of cutting options. Okay, so that's essentially it. That's what you get in the box with this Hyundai petrol mower. Okay, so we're ready to assemble the mower now. So what I normally will do is just to get the upper bars here, just put them to one side like so, and then just your tray here as well, just put that to one side. So the first thing we need to do is just to get these lower bars assembled onto the mower, and it really is super straightforward. So you have a pin here and 2 holes, so the pin goes through this hole here and then the same on the other side like so, and then all you do then is you just take one of your nuts and bolts here. So let me just undo that. Okay, and what happens is the bolt goes through from the inside out. So just going to line that up, pop it through the hole like so, and then just do up the nut. Actually, the washer goes on the outside. So bolt through on its own like so, and then the washer. So So I'll show you a close up there just so you can see what I'm doing. And then the nut goes on like so. Okay, it's got 2 stages there, and it just does up, and you just essentially do that on the other side. Okay, so that's the lower bars now attached. So super simple so far. So the next thing to do is to get the upper bars on, and then we will fix our tray. So we have these quick release levers. So I'm just going to prepare them by just undoing them, because I will be needing 2 pairs of hands. You can do it on your own, but it would help if you had an extra pair of hands. But let's see how we go. So essentially what we're doing is we're just putting the upper bars here on through the hole. So I'm going to line that hole up, line this up, just make sure none of the cables are trapped, and just make sure you've got them in the position that you want them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave them running under, and then I'm going to hold the opposite side and just line that up, and then your quick release levers go in from the outside in with one of the larger washers on. So I'm just going to do that now. So just find my hole. Like so, pop that through, and then I'm going to put another washer on. Again, I'll do a close-up to show you, and then the nut goes on just to tighten that all up, like so. So once you have one on, the next one is really easy. Okay, and then you just adjust this so that this locks off nicely, like so, and then it holds it in position, and then naturally the other side's going to be a lot easier now because this is being held in position. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get this other one on, this other quick release lever, and then we'll get the tray on and we'll be ready to go over the specifications. Okay, so next up is to install our tray here with our cup holder and our starter button. So what I've done is I've just disconnected the operator presence control lever here. I've taken that off so that I can thread this cable through the tray, and then I can just reconnect that. So what we're going to do now is just screw this tray on to the actual bars. So you have 3 holes here, so you need to use the upper hole and the lower hole. So this middle hole is not used, so that just clips on like so. So I'm just going to thread that cable back through, and then you just use the 4 screws that are provided here, and they come up from underneath like so, and then that just screws in to the tray. So just do those up. Okay, and then all that's left to do is for me to grab the recoil starter. So even though we have electric start, you do also have a backup recoil here, and then that just clips on, goes round like so. So there's our backup recoil, but we've got our electric start here. Okay, so I'm just going to reattach the cable to the bar now, like so, and that's it. That's the upper bars now secured to the lower bar section. So our assembly is pretty much done now, so I'm just going to use these clips here and these ties just to tidy everything up. So the clip goes on the side where you have your cables, so your self-propelled cable and your operator control lever cable, and then that just simply clips over the cables like so, and then they just slot in, and that just keeps everything nice and neat here. And then you have these 2 ties here, Velcro ties. I'm just going to use them to keep my electric start cable here nice and neat and out of the way. So that just essentially just wraps around like so, and I'll just put one up a little bit higher as well. Let's move that one down. Okay, and that's it. That's everything nice and neatly out of the way now. So if I do want to fold the handles, I'm not going to be trapping any of the cables while I'm doing it. Okay, so that's our Hyundai now assembled, and I hope you could see there just how easy it is. So you just need a cross-headed screwdriver just to secure the tray to the bars there, but everything else just locks together really nicely and is super simple. Okay, so let's go over now the specifications of this Hyundai petrol mower. If you would like to see a full review of this Hyundai HYM20200SPE petrol lawnmower, then head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. There you'll find comparison tables comparing this with the other black editions, and also exclusive discount codes available there as well. So head on now over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. Okay, so let's go over the specification of this petrol lawnmower. So this is the Hyundai, it's the HYM20200SPE Black Edition. And I think you'll agree, the Black Edition looks absolutely fantastic. You still have this little piece of Hyundai blue here on top, which really complements the black really nicely. It looks fantastic, this mower. But what about that model number? What does it actually mean? So the HYM just means it's a Hyundai lawnmower. The 20 means it's a 20-inch cutting deck, and this is a steel deck as well. Really good quality, it feels amazing. That's around 51 centimeters in width, so a big cutting width, this one. And this is going to be designed for those larger lawns up to around 1,300 meters squared. The collection box I mentioned earlier, it's a respectable 60 litres, and that complements this deck size really, really well. So that's going to mean less empties. And it is this hybrid type grass catcher, so it's not all mesh. It has a really good quality solid top here, which is great. That's going to stop all that dust and debris being blown up into your face, and it allows you to have a full flap as well here, so you'll know when this flap is down, the grass box needs to be emptied. There's also a really nice handle on the back here when you're emptying, just to shake those cuttings out. So Hyundai have really thought of everything there. So what about cutting options with this? Well, you'll be pleased to know that this is a 4-in-1. So what does that mean? It means that you can cut and collect into the catcher here. You can side discharge with the included chute that just attaches onto the side here. It rear discharges as well. But what's also great about this Hyundai is Hyundai have thrown in the mulching plug here. So this is an optional extra on many of the other brands. So you have everything here. You have those 4 cutting options there to suit all of the different types of grass, the types of when you want to cut times of the year as well. So really great there that you have that 4-in-1. This is also in terms of the model number, so that's the 20-inch deck. The 200 part of the model number refers to the engine. So this is a 200cc engine. It's the DV200 Hyundai engine, and that's going to deliver around 5.3 horsepower. And again, we'll be testing this out on some really challenging conditions a little bit later. The SP means it's self-propelled, so this is a self-propelled model, and the E at the end means that this is the electric start model. If you go for the smaller 17-inch model of this Black Edition, then you don't have that electric starter, and you have that smaller deck size as well. But this one is electric start, so that's the reason you have the battery here, which is included with the charger. You can press the button there and see how much charge you have, and that just simply slots into the handles here, like so. Okay, it just locks in, and that's it. You're then ready to go. So don't worry if you've forgotten to charge the battery and you want to mow, you have a backup recoil start as well. So what about cutting heights? So this has 7 cutting heights, and they're easily adjusted using this lever here, and it just really locks in very, very nicely, so you know that's not going to be bouncing out if you hit any bumps or anything like that. So really nice central height adjustment there, and that ranges from 25mm to 75mm. So again, having those 4 cutting options and that great range of cutting heights means that this is just going to be the one mower that you need for all of the different occasions and different seasons and different times of the year. Really fantastic there. Okay, so I've mentioned that it has a steel deck, which is really nice. The handlebars fold here at the central point with these quick release levers. So they just simply unlock like so, and then you can just fold the handles down, and that just reduces the storage. So talking about the handles, so I'll just lock those back into position. You've got this tray here where you have your starter button, which is really nice, and you have your holder here as well. In terms of the padding, really good padding on the handles, really, really nice thick padding. That's going to absorb all of those vibrations. And then you have your starter handles, which run the full length of the bar. So your starter handle and your self-propelled handle here at the back, and that's just going to allow you to turn both left and right hand corners while keeping the mower going as well. Really nice, really comfortable design there with those handles. So in terms of the weight with this Hyundai, it's 37.5 kilograms. So it maneuvers really well, and that's really down to these larger rear wheels. So having these really big, large rear wheels with the smaller ones at the front there is going to make this easy to maneuver. But remember, this is self-propelled as well, so we don't need to be too concerned about the weight of this, but it's 37.5 kilograms. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of the specifications of this Hyundai mower. So all I need to do now is to get some oil in here. So in terms of oil, it holds 400 milliliters of oil, and in terms of petrol, it's unleaded petrol. It holds 1.2 liters, which is really good, and that means that's going to be less stops. That's going to give you fantastic run times and less stops to refill on the fuel. Okay, so I hope you agree there. It looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic, but we need to now go out and test this. So I'll get some oil, some petrol in here. I'm not going to be testing out on my lawn here because it is just that we've had such a dry spell. There's hardly any grass here. It's not really going to give this mower a good test. So I'm going to take it to my neighbour's field where he has some really long grass, and we're going to test out all of the cutting options, and then we'll find a little bit less of a long lawn to test out that mulching option, because remember, the mulching isn't for cutting long grass, it's for just taking fine pieces off of your lawn. So again, we'll be testing all of this out later in the video. Okay, so we're ready to test this mower out now. So I brought it over to my neighbour's garden where he has this really long grass, and I thought that would be a good test of this 200cc engine, just to see how well it cuts, how powerful it is, and how well it deals with this really challenging conditions. So in terms of the oil, I've got my oil in, I've checked the levels, got fuel in now, and I've got my battery charged for the electric start. So we're going to be testing the electric start, but I'll also test the recoil start as well, the backup recoil start. So what we're going to do is test all 4 of the cutting options. So first of all, I'm going to start with a cut and collect. So I've got my mulching plug removed. I'm going to take my side discharge chute off, like so, and then we're ready to go testing this on the cut and collect. Okay, so let's see how well it starts. So remember, this hasn't been started before, so it might take a couple of turns just to get it going. Okay, so that's more or less started first time. I've just pressed the button and it's started. And the electric start is such a great feature. So what I'm going to do now is just try the recoil start and just see how well that works as well. Okay, so both starters there working really nicely. Okay, so let's give it a go now. Let's see how well it cuts. Okay, so I hope you could see there how well this Hyundai did at cutting this really long grass. It's really a knife through butter. It never struggled at all. And let's have a look how well it's picked up. So my flat was down, and as you can see there, this is a huge 60-litre grass catcher box there, completely stuffed full there. So it's picked up really well. I'm just going to empty that here so that you can see exactly how much you're getting in that box. So that just gives you an idea on how big this 60 litre is and how much it packs in of the grass to the actual grass catcher itself. The self-propelled made light work of it. I didn't have to do any pushing there. The self-propelled was a good speed, good nice walking pace at speed. The starting was excellent. So that's the cut and collect. So what I'm going to do now is put the side chute on and we're going to see how well that side discharge works. Okay, so let's give the side discharge chute a go. So that just simply clips on the side like so. Grass box off. Okay, so I hope you could see there on camera just how well the side discharge chute did. It really was pushing it out there. The circulation on this mower is fantastic, and that's why this side chute works so well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give the rear discharge a go. So I'm going to take the side chute off and we'll see how well the rear discharge works. Okay, so I hope you could see there how well the rear discharge worked. So up to now, everything has worked as expected. So the cut and collect, the side discharge and the rear discharge. So there's one option still left, and that is the mulching. So naturally mulching isn't for long grass. It's for when you're cutting short grass on a regular basis and you're not picking up the cuttings. They're being left to be cut up really into fine pieces, deposited back onto your lawn, providing nutrients and moisture. So let's give that a try now. So I've got the side chute off and I'm just going to pop the mulching plug into the back like so, and then we're ready to go. Okay, so let's give this mulching option a go. Okay, so again, I hope you could see there how well the mulching has done. So it just does exactly as it should do. So mulching, it's cut the grass into much smaller, finer pieces because it's been circulated around the deck and cut multiple times. Okay, so that's our 4 cutting options tested on this Hyundai petrol mower. Okay, so I hope you could see there how well this Hyundai did at cutting those really challenging conditions. This 200cc engine on the Hyundai never had any problems cutting that extremely long grass on my neighbour's garden there. But I know naturally you're not going to be cutting grass that kind of length, but it's just nice to know that this has the power to deal with those kind of conditions. So what I would say about this one is it is a big mower. It's a 51 centimetre deck, 20 inches. So if you've got a 500 square metre lawn, then I would consider maybe dropping down to the smaller 43 centimetre or 17 inch model of this. It's a black edition as well. It looks stunning just like this one, but it doesn't have the electric start. So it doesn't have this tray here and it doesn't have the electric start option. So this mower is good for up to 1,300, 1,400 meters squared easy because of that nice large deck size. The self-propulsion worked exceptionally well. The pace was just perfect. It was not too fast and not too slow. I didn't feel like the mower was running away from me, but I didn't feel like it could just go that bit quicker to get the job done. It was just perfectly placed there. The electric start is a great feature. It starts first time, just press the button and off you go, but you do have that recoil backup there. So as with all of my reviews, I do go over the pros and cons of any mower that I test, and I thought long and hard about the cons of this one, any issues, and I seriously couldn't think of anything with this one. But what I will do is I'll have a full review over on the easylawnmowing.co.uk website, and any issues that I notice over a longer period of time, I will keep that up to date, so be sure to check that out if you're considering purchasing this petrol mower. So what about the pros then? So the pros of this one is it's a Hyundai. It works perfectly. Though you've got those 4 cutting options: the cut and collect, the mulching, the rear and side discharge, plus those 7 cutting heights, right down to a nice low 25mm up to 75mm. And it's that combination that's going to make this the only mower that you're going to need throughout the seasons of the year. It just works exactly as it should. The build quality is good, and you're also getting a 3-year warranty with this one as well. Hyundai are here in the UK, their support is here, their spare parts are here in the UK as well. So you have this mower for many years to come, and no issues on finding spares and getting help with this mower over a longer period of time. The great thing about the Hyundai is the build quality. The build quality is fantastic. It really does feel premium build, but you're not paying those massive high prices. These are just great value for money. They hit a lovely sweet spot of quality, performance and price, and that's what these Hyundai mowers are all about. So really impressed with this one. So as I mentioned, there is that smaller model, that 43cm 17-inch. There's a full review of that one over on the easylawnmowing.co.uk website, and there's a link in the description below this video as well. You've got that great steel deck as well there with the hose wash port included. It just has everything, this mower. Really super impressed. Okay, so I hope you found this review useful of this Hyundai. It's the HYM20200SPE model, and it really does come highly recommended. So if you found this review useful in any way, could I please ask that you click the thumbs up button below this video? It'd be much appreciated. And why not subscribe to my channel as well? You will need to click that bell icon if you want to get any future notifications of videos that I release. As I mentioned, full review over on the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. There's even an exclusive discount code there to get you some money off of this petrol mower as well. There's comparisons tables there, there's helpful articles, and that's all going to help you make an informed choice about your next lawnmower. So head on over now to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.